What are you seeking? You don't really know. I said freedom, I said union, but you don't really know what you are seeking, because whatever you don't know through direct experience doesn't really have true value in your life. It's just a theory, a fancy explanation, a hypothesis. What are you seeking? You don't know. Let's explore and find out. Let's stick with the beauty of I do not know, and let this be the way of entering deeper and deeper into the creation. How much of scientific breakthrough is, it depends upon first this state of I do not know. If you already know, what's the point of seeking? What's the point of exploring? What's the point of even employing your intelligence and in examining and investigating? What's the point of doing all that if you already know? Might as well never put your intelligence to use in life. Right? So, this is also part of not getting sidetracked. As you gather more and more insight and knowledge along the path, at the same time you're not attached to this knowledge. You're still maintaining with this freshness of a beginner's mind. And then, so many possibilities are there for you to explore. But you have to be totally open and receptive to it. With receptivity, all that's needed is to knock on the door and give the door enough of a good blow on with your knocking. And nature has to reveal her secrets. Like I told you, that's what the scientist is doing. He's knocking on the door of the universe externally. The yogi is knocking on the door of the universe internally. Whichever way you're knocking on the door, what's the common thread that remains? The power of observation. Right? The power of observation. So the astronomist directs the power of his observation onto the canvas of the stars through his lens. But still, his knowledge and any kind of discovery he will come through depends on the power of his observation. So we have sciences where we're putting use your observation to study the facts that are happening in the outside world. Similarly, with the spiritual process, the power of observation is directed to understand the facts that are happening within you, the realities that are happening within you. For that, you need a more keen sense of attention. And the more keen your sense of attention is, it's literally like a microscope. It's literally like a microscope that divides and subdivides and breaks things down into smaller bits and pieces. Eventually you see the building blocks of things which were just on the surface. So to look beyond the surface, beyond the appearances of things, you need a keener quality of attention. Unknowingly, this is what scientists are seeking in their explorations. What are they seeking? They're seeking to know what is the reality beyond these appearances. Right? The yogi is seeking the same thing. What is the reality that's beyond the appearances of the mind? Both are seeking to move beyond Maya. Both are seeking to move beyond the dream-like mirage of nature. Maybe scientists don't think of it in that light. But isn't that what has been happening in the process of getting more knowledge in science? You have one question, it opens doors. The answer that you get opens doors to another question, and it starts leading you in certain directions. And where does it lead you? You find out eventually it's leading you into a completely different place. And all those things that you were assuming about the reality, systematically they are breaking down. So like I told you, At a time, it was assumed in science that the universe is made out of atoms of matter. Today, every scientific textbook has to be re-evaluated and rewritten, because today it is known that it is not so. What we're calling ordinary matter and atoms, stuff that's visible, or even atoms are not visible, stuff that's physical, all of that is only 4% of the universe. The remaining part of the universe, which the scientists are completely right now clueless about, is 96%. Which is what they're calling the dark matter and the dark energy. That's just like you're living on the earth, which is 70% water, but you don't even know what is water. That shows you how little you know. That's why today, top-level physicians who are looking into these subjects, some of them feel no other alternative except to turn a bit more humble. They learn a certain quality of humility because it seems that nature is smarter than us. It seems that nature can outwit us. It seems that whenever we have a fixed way of looking at nature, nature comes along and quickly disillusions that. So, this is the attitude of a seeker of truth. I do not know. I do not know doesn't mean that there's never any kind of knowledge to discover. There's two kinds of unknowns. One kind of unknown is what's not known to you now, but can become known to you in the future. But there's another kind of unknown which is eternally unknowable. Because knowledge always means limited information. If your knowledge always is limited, always there must remain something that's unknowable. Isn't this rational? So, what is unknowable is a fact. That there's a dimension that's beyond knowledge. So this is something that you can have an intuitive realization into this. And once you realize your true nature, you will see that that too is unknowable, in the sense that it's unknowable in this sense only. It's unknowable in the sense that you don't know what it is. Your intellect cannot break it down and find something tangible. It's beyond your language. It's very difficult to communicate. It's unknowable in that sense. Yet at the same time, there's something that's there beyond a doubt which is clear. That's the conviction that you have in realizing your true nature. You know that there's a true nature within you that's there beyond a doubt. What is it? It's beyond thought altogether. But you know that there's something that's there beyond a doubt. It's just like what the scientists are experiencing with dark energy. They have no idea what is this dark energy. They have certain speculations and ideas of what it may be. It's completely unobservable, but they know it exists without a doubt. How do they know? Through inference. They can't observe it directly, but they can observe the influence it has on the space around it. That's how we know, for example, we know of black holes. Nobody has seen a black hole. From what we know, it's impossible to look at a black hole or to take a photograph of it. How do we know? Because the gravity of the black hole bends the space around it. And if you look at the black hole in this way, it creates something called gravitational lensing, which is you look at the space around the black hole, it will distort the light that's around it. So you'll see the stars are like warped and bent out of proportion. This is how you will know that you're in the presence of a black hole. They don't know what is the black hole. What is in the center of the black hole, that too is a great mystery, because it seems that all the laws of time and space and physics break down in the event horizon or the center of a black hole. What that means is all the laws of physics also break down. What lies in this unfathomable depth? They don't know. Yet there's a great conviction that this is a reality. So seeing into your true nature is similar. It's similar in that way. You have a very clear conviction that of what you are. Yet at the same time, it's beyond thought. You cannot grasp it. So if somebody asks you, what is your true nature? And you say, I do not know, that's a great answer. But at the same time, for somebody who's realized it, it'll be misleading it will also be inaccurate for him not to mention that he knows. He knows, yet he does not know. Is that making sense?
Because he can't express it.
Exactly. He can't express it, it's beyond language. It's a bit like a student was with a Zen master, and he told him, what is the way? The student asked him, what is the way? What's the way to the truth? The Zen master said, your ordinary mind is the way. Your original mind is the way. The mind which is in tune with its original state, that is the way. The student then asked, how can I realize it? How can I attain to it? The master then said, if you move towards it, it will move away. The disciple then was confused. He said, if this is true, then how can I ever attain a knowledge of it? The master responded, he says, the way is beyond knowing or not knowing. If you say that it can be known, this is delusion. You're deceiving yourself. Something that's beyond thought, you think that it can be contained by thought. This is a great deception. But if you say it's not knowing is a state of ignorance. Right? What is it? What's that state you're in when you're in dreamless sleep? A state of pure ignorance. It's not that either. The way cannot be said to belong to either knowing or not knowing. When you've really realized what is the way, you will find that it is as vast and as immense as empty space. Is it making sense? So yes, it is a kind of knowledge, yet at the same time, it's a very different kind of knowledge than what we usually think of as knowledge.